So into the arena steps Lina Kasweka, an 11-bout professional. Made her debut back in December of 2014. Come to the ring in those 11 contests with 9 wins, 4 of them inside the distance, and 2 defeats. Sticks together back-to-back victories after losing the 2 contests prior to that. The 2 losses that she's experienced have both been over the 10-round distance. This one's scheduled for 6. Lina Kasweka up into the ring ahead of this super bantamweight contest.
Ее соперница из России. Welcome to the gold corner. Her opponent from Russia, Karina Tazabekova.
Her opponent is from right here in St. Petersburg, so able to enjoy some home cooking, and that is Karina Tazabekova, 35 years of age, a 4-time Russian national champion, and was the WBA Asia bantamweight champion, winning that vacant title in December of 2024. I was in Niš in Serbia, where she competed in the IBA World Championships earlier this year. Lost at the quarter-final stage after winning her opening 2 contests against Hatice Akbas of Turkey, the eventual silver medalist who added silver in this edition of the World Championship, the global gold that she took at the 2022 World Championships. So Karina Tazabekova fighting in her hometown up in the boxing ring to face off against Lina Kasweka of Zambia.
Супервайзер турнира Олег Агеев. Судьи у ринга оценивают титульный поединок. 3 judges at ringside scoring this championship bout. Сергей Летунов, Ираклий Малазония и Алексей Мишалкин. В судах хронометрист, таймкипер Андрей Скороходов. И с ударом гонга рефери в ринге. And while the bell rings, your referee in charge Алексей Козлов. Представляю вам соперниц и первый бойца в черном углу. Introducing to first fighting out of the black corner. Ей 28 лет. Рост 157 сантиметров, вес 55 килограммов ровно. Ее профессиональный рекорд 9 побед, включая 4 победы нокаутом при 2 поражениях. Ladies and gentlemen, she's 23 years old, standing 157 centimeters tall, weighing in at 55 kilograms silver. Her professional record: 9 victories, including 4 wins coming by way of knockout, with 2 defeats. Ladies and gentlemen, representing Lusaka, Zambia, Lina the Beast Kasweka. Ее соперница в золотом углу. Her opponent fighting out of the gold corner. Ей 35 лет, рост 165 сантиметров, вес 55 килограммов ровно. Профессиональный рекорд 5 побед, включая победу нокаутом. Она мастер спорта международного класса, чемпионка WBA Азии, 4-кратная чемпионка России, вице-чемпионка Европы. Ladies and gentlemen, she's 35 years old, standing 165 centimeters tall, weighing in 55 kilograms silver. Her professional record: 5 victories, including 1 win coming by way of knockout, no losses. Ladies and gentlemen, she's WBA Asia champion, 4-time Russian national champion, and European Championship vice champion. Дамы и господа, из Санкт-Петербурга, Россия, не знающая поражений. From St. Petersburg, Russia, the undefeated Karina Tazabekova.
Tachklas, listen to my comments. Good luck.
So Mr. Alexei Kozlov, the 3rd person in the ring, with a brief set of final instructions ahead of this super bantamweight contest, scheduled for 6 rounds.
Box.
So we're underway then. 6 2-minute rounds in women's boxing, remember, and out blazing from her black corner is a woman wearing black trunks and the black singlet trimmed with gold, looking to bomb away with that backhand and getting to work with a piston-like left jab. And that is Lina Kasweka from Lusaka in Zambia, and she's wasting no time. setting about her opponent to both head and body, and the woman currently tucking up and trying to counter, while in a crowd on the inside is Karina Tazabekova, the four-time Russian national champion from right here in St. Petersburg, undefeated in the professional ranks, another one of the boxers on the IBA stage who continues to go between the best in head guard code in women's IBA 3-round boxing and the professional code here. What a right uppercut and a left hook to the body from Kasweka, who has started at a blistering pace.
Yep, she certainly has, working the head and body so well. Tazabekova is just covering up, maybe a little surprised here with the opening here from Kasweka, who's come at a blistering start here. Lovely jab through the middle, a hook went in as well there. This is good stuff here, Ron.
So there's a nice counter left jab from Tazabekova as she seeks to just get herself back into this contest. Remember, it's only 2-minute rounds in women's boxing, and oftentimes a strong start can make it very difficult for an opponent to turn things back around, but that's exactly what Tazabekova is seeking to do here, because no respect of her reputation or her credentials from Kasweka from Zambia, the woman in the black and gold. She came out blazing. Now, has she put too much into the opening round? She was run on to the end of a stiff left jab there, the rugged roundhouse right on the inside, but Kasweka seems to be doing so well at distance. Slightly more compact figure. Just as I say that, Stens, there it is again. Right, left uppercut through the middle. She's really sharp shooting effectively.
She certainly is. Tazabekova looks very strong, very capable. Tazabekova is very, very tough, and she is cut over the right eye as well to add to her problems. It was a slow start from Tazabekova, as she was surprised as Kasweka, the way she'd come out, and they're going to have to do some work here in the corner. She's cut over that right eye, and let's see if we can see some of the action there. Lovely hook from Tazabekova. She works on the inside, body shots as well, but here we see Kasweka, the strength, the precision. There we saw a hook go in, the right hook as well. Was that where the cut was caused? See it from another angle. Lovely shot round the back of the guard there, and Tazabekova was surprised at the start there, Kasweka, and she is going to have to regroup these 2-minute rounds. You don't have much time for tactics. It's sort of all in, and she's going to have to regroup big time here at the start of this second round.
So, unclear as to whether that cut was caused by a punch or an accidental clash of heads. It was rough on the inside on occasion, but right back out behind a ramrod left jab is Kasweka. Tazabekova, again, when she's not being occupied by the sharp straight shots and then uppercuts ripped through from Kasweka like that, she's finding herself just almost trying to fend these punches off. She did respond effectively off the ropes there, though, but again, not really able to establish the same consistency of punch output as Kasweka.
No, Tazabekova is under a lot of pressure here. Kasweka really fancies this. The cut would have enhanced that as well. She is going to go for this and give it a big push. If she gets the victory here, it will be an upset. Let me tell you that. Tazabekova, an excellent amateur, coming into this undefeated, the pro as well, on home turf. But Kasweka is looking to rip up the script here.
So halfway through the second 2-minute round of a contest scheduled for 6, and look at the variety being demonstrated by Kasweka. Hooks and uppercuts at short mid-range. When she's attempting to be tied up, she's still getting her hands free to dig up to the body through the middle. There was a counter flipping right hand on the inside from Tazabekova. But this is a terrific demonstration of fighting at all three distances. Here's the inside right uppercut. Look at that right hand at mid-range. She attempted the left hook thereafter, Kasweka. And Tazabekova, well, she's got to find some rhythm and flow here, Spence.
Yep, she certainly has, because Kasweka is the one that has found that rhythm, found that flow. This is all about opportunity from the girl from Zimbabwe. And she really fancies this.
And again, even on the inside, look at the manner in which she's working. While Tazabekova is looking to turn the tables, not quite spoiling, but fast in a clinch. Kasweka was doing an outstanding job freeing her hands and getting those little nudging, hurtful body shots up through the middle, and they will catch the judge's eyes as well. And look at her body language as she makes her way back to the black corner. She knows she's in a groove.
Yeah, she knew she was coming here as the underdog, the away fighter. Kasweka is ripping up the script here. Here's some of the action in the second round. Tazabekova under pressure again, pinned on the ropes. Right hand goes in from Kasweka. There, the uppercut and right hand as well. Good work here.
And as you'd expect from a fighter of the experience of Tazabekova, she was trying to get her own offense away to remain competitive. She was in the round, but I just don't think that she's done enough to win the round. But of course, we've got 3 scoring judges, the 10-point must system being used. If this goes the distance, it will come down to their verdict. But for my money, a blistering start from Kasweka has got her in a strong position. As we begin the third round, it's a strong thrusting jab to the body from Tazabekova. She must have been given a proverbial rocket by her corner to say, listen, we're approaching the halfway stage of this contest and you have got to do something to make an impression in the minds of the judges. There's a beautiful counter right hand and left hook. And now Tazabekova getting on the front foot. And that's an interesting tactical adjustment, Spence, because Kasweka to this point has been able to hold her feet, bite down and blast away, and it's almost as though Tazabekova is saying, okay, let's see what you like fighting on the back foot, because that can sometimes make you an entirely different fighter.
Absolutely, Tazabekova, she has to do that. She had to change the tactics. Kasweka is the girl that is pushing forward and she's getting success. Tazabekova doesn't like it on the back foot. She was getting caught way too much, and sensibly the corner have told her to go out there and change it, throw everything and the kitchen sink. Educated pressure is what is needed here. She was a good amateur, so she will have that pedigree, the boxing IQ, and boy does she need it here, because for me, she is 2 rounds down. She needs a big round here to turn it around.
And again, it's all very well saying that you've got to put a front foot sharpshooter onto the back foot. That almost invariably, Spence, means that you're putting yourself in harm's way, and you've got to be able to take what is coming in your direction in the event that you can't evade it. But look at Tazabekova here continuing to try to implement that change of tactics, stay in the pocket, bob and weave, and then push Kasweka backwards at every opportunity.
Yep, Tazabekova is doing the right thing here. She's having success in the third round. Hands held high, walking forward, sensible movements. We just saw her shuffling back there as well, just out of harm's way, and then comes back with her own shots as well. This is good stuff here from Tazabekova, and she needed it. Good left hook, right hand in there as well. Kasweka tries to turn it around towards the end of the round. She raises her hands to the crowd. She's still very much fancying this. But Tazabekova, she needed a big round, and she got it there.
Some response now. Kasweka, what adjustments can she make after she found her successes on the front foot, now standing in the pocket, found them just nullified a little bit, because Tazabekova, as we're seeing here, was punching with her, and that made such a big difference from when she was trying to cover up and repel the incoming fire.
Yeah, that was exactly it, wrong. Tazabekova was trying to create too much space in the opening rounds. Kasweka done the sensible thing of coming forward, starting very fast. These 2-minute rounds, you can't afford to lose a minute of that round, so tactically you've got to be spot on, and if you're going to try and box your way through, you have to get it right. Tazabekova didn't get it right in those opening 2 rounds, turned it around in that third round on the front foot. Here we go, round number 4.
So to the second half of the contest, and Kasweka, like the competitor she's proving to be, out into the middle of the boxing ring, feet planted on the logo and letting combination punches go once again. Now look at the feints, trying to draw that lead, breaking the deadlock. Is Kasweka with a sharp shooting jab. Nice movement of the feet from Tazabekova to back up. Couldn't evade that right hand though, and then Tazabekova tried to come back with her own counter right hand before being driven towards the neutral corner.
Yep, Tazabekova just trying to take the play away again here, getting back on that front foot. She'll recognise she's lost a little bit of ground in that third round. She's let Tazabekova back into the contest somewhat. Now it's time for her to get back hold of this. She's on away soil, so she needs to get this victory, and it has to be clear. She will recognise that. And she started this fourth round very well on the front foot, where she gets success.
Counter right hand, corkscrew left, not too far away from Tazabekova, and then she's looking to score at mid-range once again. Of her 5 completed professional contests, 4 of them have been here. Beautiful single lead shot off the back foot from Kasweka, but Tazabekova, 4 of her 5 bouts have been right here in the home city of St. Petersburg. Her last 2 have been here at the KSK Arena, so on familiar territory, and she really is doing a good job of grinding her way back into contention in this one.
That's exactly what she's doing, grinding her way in. She recognises that this may not be pretty, she may have to do it ugly, but she's got to now bite down on that gum shield, push forward and match Kasweka punch for punch. Shot selection's beautiful here, body and head really drilling through the shots. These are not arm punches here. Both girls really loading up with these shots, and we can see that by the faces of both of these girls now marking up, cuts appearing as well. This is becoming grueling. This is as much a psychological battle as it is now a physical battle as we go into these last 2 rounds. This fight could be a 2-round fight going on here, because for me, Ron, I've got it 2 rounds apiece.
We're in the same place, Spence, as we see the significance of that eye injury sustained towards the end of round 1, endured by Tazabekova. Kasweka was sensational in the first 2 rounds, but then intelligently adjusting her tactics was Tazabekova, sometimes leading off punching with the fast-fisted Kasweka, and it's brought her right back into contention for my money, because like the former European super bantamweight champ alongside me, the Omen Spencer Oliver, I've got it at 2 rounds apiece. Remember, we've got 3 scoring judges at ringside, and this one could well come down to a 4-minute shootout, who will be able to impose their will, their tactics onto the contest as we prepare to enter the penultimate round. So moving to the 5th round then, and as she's done so often in the contest, it's Kasweka out with bent arm shots attempted to both head and body. Nice movement from the waist from Tazabekova as she seeks to work her way inside.
Yep, Tazabekova now on the front foot. Nice head movement there as well. Lovely slips on the outside. Check hook there. Throws the 1-2 hook, and I'll tell you what, Kasweka is finding this hard now as that eye is swelling even more than it already was. This is good work here from Tazabekova at the start of this round 5.
And you can just see from that camera shot the egg that is almost developing beneath the left eyelid of Lina Kasweka. So we've got Tazabekova with a cut to the right eye, with a swelling above her left optic is Lina Kasweka. Both boxers enduring significant impairment in terms of eye injuries. Look at that for a flashing right hand lead, then digging down to the body, and it is Tazabekova who is putting forth the greater punch output as we go beyond the mid stage of this 5th round in the contest schedule for 6.
Yep, Tazabekova now seems to have got a hold of this contest. She's working well to the head and body, landed a couple of good right hands there, and Kasweka is just starting to feel the pace here. Both girls are showing marks on their faces like it's been really tough, and Kasweka maybe just slightly slowing down now, and that could be a big problem for her.
Looking for the right uppercut, was Kasweka. Tazabekova looking for the responses on the inside, physical entwinement at close quarters, infighting and odd in itself, and then 2 bent arm jabs landed almost simultaneously, but then the right hand landed by Tazabekova before she fell in, giving her the final word in what was a full-blooded exchange. Referee has called time because he sent an opportune moment to step in for the dislodged mouthpiece of Kasweka to be rinsed and reinserted. Closing seconds of the fight of this 5th round, and getting on the front foot behind a trip hammer left jab, attempted the right hand is Kasweka, and again that's testament to her competitiveness, because it's another tough round she just endured, but she was keen to make sure that she finished the stronger, to leave something in the mind of the judges. But another competitive round in this compelling contest.
Yep, certainly was. They go to work now on the eye there of Tazabekova. She has taken control of this contest, and here's some of the action there in the 5th round. Good solid jab there from Kasweka. But both girls here really showing a lot of character, heart, grit, determination. They're leaving it all in the ring for sure. Women's boxing is on such a high at the moment. Casey Taylor being the pioneer of that. But both these girls are putting on a fantastic contest. Tazabekova, for me, is a round in front. Kasweka has to go for this.
So it's the sixth and final round in what has been an absolutely pulsating affair in the 55-kilogram super bantamweight division. The vacant AFL super bantamweight title on the line, but forget the baubles. This is very much about getting the better of your opponent. Lina Kasweka on the front foot, the woman wearing the black trunks filled with gold, looking for that jab, just creeping across the canvas, looking to edge her way forward is Karina Tazabekova from right here in St. Petersburg, undefeated professional with 5 wins under her belt. Spencer mentioning the fact that women's boxing has been on such a high for the past dozen years or more after the pioneers like Christy Martin and our own Jane Couch. And he mentioned Katie Taylor in that mix. Well, just like Katie Taylor and Natasha Jonas and Lauren Price, Lina Kasweka was an outstanding footballer before she put on the boxing boots, Spence. And like so many of the top female boxers, adept to more than one sport at a high level.
Yep, Lauren Price represented her country, playing football as well. Like you say, a lot of these women have played at a high level, international level, in whatever sport they've chosen. And boxing is one of those sports that you just can't seem to get away from. And women's boxing is on a high. Tazabekova really digging deep here for Kasweka. Run, she's got to finish strong, or this is slowly slipping away.
You mentioned the fact that it's hard to get away from. Natasha Jonas told me that she went into the gym to lose some weight for football, and she's still there 25 years later. But back to this contest that we have in store, and look at that combination from Tazabekova on the front foot. Kasweka trying to respond, but her attempted combination a little inaccurate. Remember, we've got 3 judges scoring this one using the 10-point must system. Lead jab from Tazabekova was more accurate as she goes in search with shots upstairs and then getting the better of Kasweka, drawing that coming together. While Kasweka was tying up Tazabekova, Tazabekova was working to both head and body. An exchange of jabs where Tazabekova is perhaps the more authoritative. What a terrific contest in the super bantamweight division. We're going to the judges' scorecards. We'll go to the 3 scoring judges who have used the 10-point must system. Now, I happen to think, for what it's worth, that this woman, Lina Kasweka, started in blistering fashion. But then credit to the woman out of the gold corner, Karina Tazabekova, the home fighter, because I think she really responded, adjusted, and implemented the tactics, even though it was something of a high wire act, because she had to put herself in the firing line to push Kasweka backwards and get her own offensive way. I think Tazabekova has done enough. We'll wait the verdict to the judges, but what a contest.
Yeah, fantastic contest. I've got this one 58-56 in favour of Tazabekova. I think that she had to show a lot of character to deal with the pressure, the early onslaught there from Kasweka, who started so well, caused that cut in the first round. But Tazabekova dealt with it, she controlled it, she just took her time and slowly turned the contest around. That adaptability, that, you know, that's a quality on its own to be able to do that. Tremendous contest from both girls there. And women's boxing, as I've said, really is on a high, and this is why it's on a high. People are loving this for the performances these girls are leaving in the ring.
Again, the shorter rounds and the fact that these boxers are in such magnificent condition means that the tempo invariably remains high throughout the duration of a bout, be it a 6-round contest such as this, or even when we get into the realm of 10-round affairs. Why comparatively see one of the reasons for my money why you see fewer knockouts in the women's professional game, because they're in such great shape that even if you have a brilliant round, bell sounds after 2 minutes, the minute interval is enough for a fighter in shape to get back to optimal levels, and it's almost you've got to start chopping down the tree from scratch again.
Yep, I enjoy the 2-minute rounds for all the reasons you just said there, Ron. I think when you're talking about introducing 3-minute rounds, that slows the pace down, there's more tactics involved. You know, with these girls, they can't afford to lose that first minute, so the pace is much higher. which makes for a much more exciting fight. So for me, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Прежде чем будет озвучен судейский вердикт, аплодисменты обеим девушкам. Дамы и господа, по завершении титульного боя обратимся к судейским запискам. Ladies and gentlemen, after the end of the championship bout, we go to the judges' scorecards. Все трое судей одинаково оценили этот поединок 58-56. All three judges are in agreement, scoring the same 58-56. Таким образом, единогласным решением судей одержала победу и, оставаясь не знающей поражений, стала новой чемпионкой мира АФЛ во втором легчайшем весе. All in favor of your winner by unanimous decision. And still undefeated, became a new AFL Super Bantamweight Champion of the World, Karina Tazabekova.
So Karina Tazabekova extends her undefeated record with a unanimous point decision verdict over Lina Kasweka of Lusaka in Zambia. But I don't think, even though Kasweka is being consigned to her third professional loss here in this her 12th contest, I don't think this has hurt her stock at all, because she fought outside of Africa previously, having boxed in Dubai, she's boxed in South Africa and in Zimbabwe and her home country of Zambia. But here on the global stage, my goodness, she put forth a terrific performance against the decorated amateur Karina Tazabekova. Let's listen in and hear what she's got to say.
Родные стены помогают. Спасибо большое. Я чувствую поддержку вашу. Было очень приятно выступать в Санкт-Петербурге. Бой сложился немножко не по плану, немножко были увечья. Обычно у меня такого не происходит в боях, но мы собрались и, в принципе, бой провели, я думаю, удовлетворительно. Спасибо большое. Дальше больше.
Карина Тазабекова.
So Karina Tazabekova performing in front of her home fans here at the KSK Arena in St. Petersburg. And one wonders, Spence, how much she had to draw on the energy she's receiving from the home support, because Lina Kasweka really did pose some difficult questions in the opening 2 rounds, where she started at a terrific clip.
Yep, she certainly did. Kasweka started so well, and that took Tazabekova by surprise. But she slowly turned it around. By round 3, she was really in control of a brilliant contest. And trying to translate what she was saying there, Ron, I think she was saying she was very pleased with that performance. The cut over the eye knocked her off track there for the first couple of rounds, but she sort of adjusted, got back into it, back on the rails, and was very happy with that performance.
And again, even though there's a bit of disappointment for Kasweka having come out on the wrong end of the verdict, from her perspective, the manner in which she performed shows that she clearly knows her way around the boxing ring. And again, as we've been talking about, perhaps in a new era of boxing now, where it's not about protecting the ego, but about testing oneself, putting on a good performance. Kasweka has certainly done that tonight. I'd be surprised if we see her again on the IBA.PRO stage in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. Kasweka, for me, her stock has rose. We didn't really know too much about her before coming into this one, but she gave it everything.